Hello and welcome everybody to Oil Asset of the Day, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club, and we'll be reviewing prices for the week ahead. So first of all, what do you need to know about oil? Last week we did see a very significant breakdown in oil prices back below $60 per barrel, and the catalyst for that was last week's oil inventories, where we saw a build which was the largest since 2017. We've also seen hedge funds and money managers, they have reduced their overall net long positions in the latest week again here. So this is very typical as we get towards the end of May. Usually you do start to see the oil market come off, particularly as we've seen so far in 2019, a 40% increase in prices so far this year. So it's not too much of a surprise to see this decline in oil prices towards the end of last week, given that we had such a significant build. So what do you need to know for the week ahead? Well, essentially, we've got a few points to be aware of. As we go into June, we do have an OPEC meeting, which is taking place on the 25th and 26th of June, which is definitely something to have in the diary. They'll be reviewing the policy with respect to output cuts. That can have a very big impact on oil prices. It's going to be a catalyst for big moves in either direction, depending on what the policy is that they implement. So that's going to be later on in June. Normally, the month of June is actually a bit of a flat month for oil prices, so we can see consolidation, and you definitely want to be looking at those major levels of oil, so $60 per barrel, for example, and also if we were to break below that level and continue to follow through to the downside, which we'll have a look at very shortly on the chart, we could then start to make a move back towards those major levels such as 57.50. At the moment, oil is in an interesting place here because we have broken down significantly at the end of last week. However, we're seeing a bit of a retracement here at the beginning of the week here. We have broken below some key levels, but oil does not manage to follow through here. If it very simply rolls over and we are still seeing these trade war tensions in the background, that could have a negative impact on oil, and we could see it roll over to the downside and potentially coming back to 58 and then 57.50 US dollars per barrel. Oil week to week tends to move within a 300 to 400 point range. Last week was quite extreme because we did see a 600 point range for oil, but that's quite unusual. Normally week to week you tend to see a 300 to 400 point range on oil. From a seasonality point of view, it's typical to see this sell-off at the end of May, but then a buyback as we go into June. So just look out for that this week as well. If we do get a retracement, I'd be looking for range-bound trade this week. Later in the week, we'll have crude oil inventory data. We'll also have the Baker Hughes oil rig count too, and we'll have an update with respect to hedge funds and money managers, their positions as well. But I would look out for the potential of strength to come in as we go into the month of June, particularly at the end of the month as well as we get closer to the OPEC meeting, and we'll absolutely keep you updated on that and what you need to be looking out for in the coming weeks. So with that, that has been Oil Asset of the Day, and I wish you good trading.